I will not cede the wind or solar or battery industry to China or Germany because we refuse to make the same commitment here. We've subsidized oil companies for a century. That's long enough.
What did the man say there?
That he will not cede wind or solar or the battery industry to China or Germany because we refuse to make the same commitment.
It's amazing that here is a man talking about 5 different industries, in none of which he has the slightest experience.
And we'll work with provinces and territories to develop a national energy strategy with the goals of securing and storing energy and promoting green, renewable energy sources. All told, it's an investment of almost $6 billion over the next 4 years and almost $20 billion over the next decade in green infrastructure.
Draining the paychecks and pocketbooks of Canadians. Just this week, the Angus Reid Institute published a poll showing that 51% of Canadians are struggling to eat. In Canada, a G7 country, the majority of people cannot afford groceries. That is 7 years of this Liberal government. Canadians are out of money. This government is out of touch. Why won't they cancel their tax hikes so Canadians can afford to eat?
Well, absolutely. In fact, one of the things that has happened all around the world in the 20th century was that all sorts of countries have tried central planning. Now, the guys who run the central planning, they usually have advanced degrees from prestigious institutions. They have mountains of statistics sitting there, and they have all the experts in the country at their beck and call. And yet when you take the power out of their hands and return it to the market, then all the hundreds of millions of people who don't have any of those things usually end up with a higher rate of growth and a more rapid decline in poverty.
Because consequential knowledge by its nature tends to be diffused, widely diffused.
Yes, yes.
Right. Very ambitious goals to carbon neutrality, not net zero, carbon neutrality in 2045. We've established interim goals, 90% of clean energy on our electricity grid by 2035. And of course, we have the 2035 ZEV mandate, which is the most aggressive of any jurisdiction, certainly in the United States, one of the few in the world. So we have to do multiples, probably 6 gigawatts a year. We're encouraging folks again tonight. We're looking well over 50,000 megawatts. Again, we hit just shy of 52,000, which was record breaking yesterday. Over 50,000 tonight. Looks like based on the moment projection, this changes hourly, another 50 tomorrow night as well. So still work to be done. Let's not run the 90-yard dash. Everybody's done an incredible job getting us through this, and we'll do our part to make sure we never have to go through this again. And that's the continued transition to more battery storage, continued transition to more energy and backup supply, new strategic reserve.
So the intellectual temptation is to say, look, we already know everything.
That's right.
If only we also had
the power,
all the power,
yes,
everything would be just fine.
Yes.
And what's wrong with that view? Why isn't that a sensible view?
One, they don't know everything. They don't know 1/10 of everything. In fact, I argue that they probably don't know 1% of the consequential knowledge in a society.
Consequential knowledge is a concept that runs through this book. Explain that concept.
Knowledge whose presence or absence has consequences, serious consequences. I mean, I was once in a plane that was coming down for a landing in the Ithaca airport, and suddenly the pilot gunned the motor and went up again because someone in the control tower had reminded him that he hadn't lowered his landing gear. So that was consequential knowledge,
right?
Yes, yes. I was just delighted that person had his eyes open and his mind on his work.